Hey YouTube land, Tycondrius here doing another action figure review. Now, I already did a review for 3 of the Darktide figures, which were the Artist Proof Guardsmen, which I still haven't finished yet. I'm still processing paintwork on them. The Traitor Guardsman and the Veteran Guardsman. So today I have the bigger one of the set, which is the, hopefully not the last figure that they're going to do in this Darktide subline. I hope they get around to doing the whole team. And this, now, I think at the time of this recording, the game is either just coming out or has come out. I'm not too sure. It's, unfortunately, from what I can tell, it's a Xbox and PC exclusive. It's not going to be on the PS5 for a while, if it's going to be on it at all. So, unfortunately, I won't be able to play this thing. But this is the Warhammer 40,000 Darktide Ogryn by McFarlane Toys. Now this is one of their mega figure lines, or mega figures. You can see in the back of the box, I'm not sure if you can actually see in the back of the box, there is the standard stand in the back of the box. I haven't taken it out because I have plenty full of them, so you can see them. On the back of the box is just the image of the Ogryn himself. There is 2 versions of this. I didn't bother picking up the other version. It's an artist proof version, so it's the all grey plastic one, and it's the one that you can paint yourself. I didn't want to take on the challenge of trying to paint one of these things up. He's fairly big. I know people will probably go to town on buying one of these, disassembling it and repainting it. You could probably do some really cool stuff on it. But because this guy is essentially exactly the same as the artist proof one, you're probably better off just getting the painted version, redoing the paint, existing paint on him, and making him your own guy. Not the artist proof stuff, they are really good, but from what I can see, the artist proof version of him is just the same thing. So he comes with that teeny tiny base stand for one of these guys, which is so big it just, like, if I can get it into the hole on the back of the foot, it just it's not going to fit in it, is it? Let's see if I can get it in. Sorry about this. Hopefully it won't break off. I can't get it to fit in. Try the other foot. There is 2 peg holes on the feet. Yeah, it feels like it's going to break if I push it any further, but like you can see just how tiny it is for the foot. Actually, there we go, it stays on. So it doesn't even need it because of how big his feet is. He stands perfectly well without it. So he's pretty cool. He has some interesting articulation points. And he comes with one other accessory, which is a pain in the arse to get in and out of his hands. So once it's in, I recommend leaving it in. It's already done some paint rub off his paint apps. But it is the Ogryn Ripper Gun. If you're not familiar with these guys, in the 40k universe, these are subhumans, they're called. Even though they're massive humans. They're basically... Their build has been kind of a bit slow and a bit dumb kind of thing, but they're like built like tanks, basically. So for Astra Militarum or the Imperial Guard, they use these guys as like a brick wall to smash their enemies with. And they're all usually equipped with these things called Ripper Guns. They're basically like a fairly heavy rifle that when they run out of ammo, these guys can run in and just use them to club people to death with, and hence the reason it has the big bayonet on the front of the gun. Now it would have been nice to have an extra little bit extra paint apps to this thing. Now it does have some paint apps. Like I think the shells in here would have looked better with kind of a gold or a bronze color. The blade on the front, even though it is kind of in metallic color, a nicer silver on it would have been cool. Usually the guns on these guys are black casings, so like they did change it up a bit, but it is pretty cool. He has these huge shoulder pads that are actually on ball joints on up here, which I'm not sure if you can see because he's so big. Actually, let me just readjust my camera a touch so you can see him a little bit better. There we go, that might do a little bit better. So he has the Imperial Aquila Eagle tattoo on his head, which is pretty cool. He has these kill marking arms of tattoos or like markings on his arm, which is pretty cool. He doesn't have too many other tattoos on him. In fact, those are the only ones I can see. He does have this Inquisition logo, which is pretty interesting, because the general Astro Militarum wouldn't have something like this unless they've been conscripted into the Inquisition. The Inquisition is basically one of the Emperor's lines of defense against chaos and demons and otherworldly supernatural stuff. So they're like generally people who get conscripted into the Inquisition, as far as I can remember in the lore, don't tend to survive very long, or if they do, because the Inquisition operates in secret, they tend to get taken out after they've been conscripted. So like usually the Imperial Guard units that were conscripted are never heard from again, kind of thing. He does have a 37-3 on his shoulder pad. Now I have seen the trailer for this, and I'm pretty sure this guy probably has a name, because Ogryn is just the name of the subspecies or the species that they are from. So there's multiple Ogryn or Ogryns, so he's not just a unique one named character, if you know what I mean. Like this one is probably based on the one in the game, but like there's multiple of them across the 40k universe. One of the most notable ones is was it Ned Dead Dog? Was that the right name? He's like a bodyguard one that you could use for your Imperial Guardsmen at one point. He does have that eagle print on his armor plating. He is pretty cool. He has a lot of detailing going on. What's really cool is it's very subtle, but he actually has camouflage patterning on his pants. It's like dark gray all over black, so it's kind of very hard to see, but it is there. When I first got him, I thought he was just, didn't have any paint apps on his legs, but he actually has a very subtle paint apps on his pants, which is pretty cool. Usually Ogryns tend to have like the standard green camo that the Imperial Guard uses, but this guy is, as I said, I think he's conscripted and he's part of a specific team, so he has like more unique coloring. His arms are on ball joints. His head is on a ball joint, so you get some good range of movement on him. I love the face sculpt on him, and the paint work on the face is actually really good. The kind of grey or 5 o'clock shadow with the kind of sunken eyes look really good on him. Even the eyes are done pretty well, and they didn't do that whole staring off to the side thing. He does have this added extra piece on this arm, which is a strapped on armor plate. You can remove it if you wanted to. You'd have to pop off the hand and take this off, and underneath it would be the exact same on this side. I have seen people paint up this guy and give him some extra paint apps, which looks pretty cool. He has unique hand articulation. So just like the other mega figures, they tend to have like a single joint. So this one, instead of up and down, his hand goes side to side, but you can still rotate the hand itself. He does have a single jointed elbow with a swivel as well. He doesn't, I think he does have waist articulation. I think he's supposed to have some sort of ab crunchy thing, but it's really hard to get it. He does have like this tank top thing going on. Now it doesn't go all the way over. It just stops underneath the armor plate here. Like normally some of the actual miniatures, when they don't have this armor piece on top of them, they have like a tank top. So they have that kind of going on. This one isn't a full tank top. It's only a kind of a full tank top, as they call it, or a fake one. He does have this cool gun. His joints are pretty tight, so he can hold it two-handed, which is, it's a bit tight to do, but you can do it. You can hold his gun two-handed, and you have him looking the way he's firing, which is pretty cool. He has a handle on the side of his gun. It doesn't move or anything, so like you have to kind of wedge it in there, but because the way the hand moves, you can kind of angle it a little bit easier for him to hold it. So you do have that. There we go. I knew I could get into him a bit better. So you can hold him, have it holding it. He has these big spikes on one of his padded gloves, which is pretty sweet. Oh, I just popped his arm off, didn't I? Oop. Yeah, man. You can see the joint on the arm. So let's pop his arm back in. He does have forward and back on legs, single jointed knees with a swivel. He does have big chunky boot ankles. He doesn't seem to have too much of a rocker on the ankle, and then he has the toe cut thing as well, so he's fairly articulated. Now unfortunately I don't have any of the Imperial Guard stuff knocking around to show him with, so you see the scale of how he stacks up with the Imperial Guard stuff. What I do have is some of my Space Marines, so you can see how he actually is taller than the Space Marine, because Ogryns are supposed to be bigger than Space Marines. They're supposed to be like 9 to 10 foot tall. The average Space Marine is supposed to be 8 to 9, so there's some discrepancy on how tall you want to have them, but overall they're pretty good. So he is a bit on the more pricey side because he's a mega figure, so I think he was around the $39–40 price point, so he's a bit more pricey because he's one of the big ones. Just bring in the tape measure actually. Just bring it in there behind him. You see he stands just around over the 8 inches, and he's quite a chunky lad, so he's nearly 5 inches in width because he's quite a big figure. So I do have one of my DC mega figures I can bring in, which is Clayface. So if you're familiar with Clayface figure, he's around, it's nearly as big and chunky as the Clayface, but he feels a lot more solid. I find the Clayface feels a lot more hollow than this guy. So you have that. And just because I have him handy, and he's kind of human scale, I think. So the Batman from the Justice League movie, so you can see how big he is to like a standard 7-inch scale figure. Even though the scale for these guys, the human scale should be around 6. So if I'll bring in, now I know the guardsmen are actually slightly taller than these guys. This is the Cobra Trooper who's in the 6-inch line, so you can see roughly, because I don't have him handy, how big the guardsman kind of figure should be to this guy. But all in all, he's really cool. So if you have the Darktide game or the Darktide, or if you're a fan of the 40k universe, you can pick up one of these guys and he looks pretty cool with your collection. So there you go guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick video review, and I probably waffled on way too much now, so I'll wrap it up here. But overall, he's a really good figure. Now, oh, and I did pick this guy up at Big Bad Toy Store. Haven't seen him anywhere else for sale in like locally over here. On my previous review, I did say that I did see the Darktide Chaos Space Marines in Smiths, or not Chaos Space Marines, Chaos Guardsmen in Smiths, and they had the gold label version of the Chaos Space Marines. So it is odd to see them because I haven't seen any other places other than the Warhammer stores were carrying this line, but they kind of stopped over here. So it's hit and miss where you're picking them up. So there you go guys, I hope you enjoyed this quick video review for the Ogryn. As always, please feel free to like, comment and subscribe to my channel, and I hope you enjoy this video. Cheers guys.